Well, Dr. Sam Amadi is the director at Abuja School of Social and Political Thought. He joins us in the studio to look at the just concluded area council polls in FCT and what this exercise portends for future elections in the country. Glad to have you join me, Dr. Sam, and that's where I'm actually starting.
Thank you.
5 out of 6, that's a landslide, you would call it. What statement has APC made in terms of the 2027 elections?
Well, I think in substance, this is a small election, but in symbolism, perhaps it's bigger than what it's worth. This is FCT, Federal Capital Territory, and the history that is rarely won by ruling party. I mean, apart from the PDP, that really, it has been a PDP stronghold until Labour came in and took over. So the PDP usually wins here. Even when Buhari won, he lost much of FCT. And Mr. PDP won it in 2023, bigly. So this is a statement perhaps in two ways. You can see it as the ruling party wants to, they lost presidential election here, they would like to win it. And maybe one of their pathways to electoral victory in 2027 might be Abuja also. Again, it's also because the APC, ADC also came to this election with some fighting spirit, especially in the Amadi area. Mr. PDP, Atiku Abubakar, El-Rufai, Amechi, all these guys campaigned. So this victory is also kind of deflating. So APC will be very happy. If you're an APC leader and you're a party that a coalition wants to unseat, you're winning election handily. Let's not first talk about how it won, whether it was a credible election, but you're winning handily. You'll be happy that it's about a push, it's a momentum for you. It's also a symbolism that perhaps, contrary to what ADC campaign would be, that APC is gone. APC is actually saying, we're actually going to win bigger than we did. So for them, a great impetus, a statement around their invisibility, in my opinion, and their willingness to compete all the way.
All right. Before I get to voter apathy and Atiku's take on turnout of voters and where the blame lies, you raised an issue, the congratulation. APC president congratulates a PDP stalwart for doing well in FCT elections where APC won. Your sense?
Well, first, the president could say he's doing the statesman. If in the past, even if when the party lose election, major elections, governorship or whatever, Buhari used to congratulate the winner who is not his party. So that's fair from that perspective. The president has to congratulate. But again, the APC, especially the faction that, the PDP, the faction that aligns with Wike or Wike's faction, is indistinguishable from APC at this point. But again, that Kogalada election is actually an outlier. The guy refused to decamp. For the stories, refused to decamp. When Wike asked him to step down, he refused. He held his own. And people say strong. And of course, the ethnic factor, if you like, the Baggies who wanted to also make a statement about their determination to perhaps control their territory, factor into. But again, Wike's, if you watch Minister Wike's statement, he suggests that, okay, now you know the position, PDP and the APC, of course, that's baloney, that's nothing like that. I mean, this is a very micro election, and that does not make PDP the real position. I mean, APC lost, ADC lost big, but ADC is still, by every measure, the real opposition going forward. But again, I mean, this is good for Wike. It's good for, before we get to the...
So there's nothing wrong with it?
Yes, nothing wrong at all.
All right, good, fine, because I know you're a lawyer, so we're talking about law. So let's get back to the voter apathy. 7.8%, abysmal, really. I mean, apart from Atiku even saying it, I was discussing with one of the observers here yesterday on the turnout. Atiku's take, he says turnout of voters, he blames the government. Where do you lay the blame?
I think I lay the blame with the mismanagement of the optics of electoral reform. I mean, look, in 2023 election, we had 25%, 26.7 or thereabout, which is also a very low, compared to Ghana had 60%.
Ghana had 60%.
60%, okay. So very low, in spite of all the dynamism and the obedient movement and all that. And then it keep going down. Anambra ended with about 18 or there, about 20%. And now we have 7 in the Federal Capital Territory. Look, this is the point. Local elections ought to have the biggest turnout because the issues ought to concern people. But people didn't bother. So many factors. One is the electoral reform, the impression the government created, National Assembly, and of course the president and the ruling party, was that, look, the done deal, this saving device, we shut it down. And you can see how it manifested. We see the result, I saw the result from Kokoroma, in Kwale, where the total accreditation is about 120 or 112, and they added 12 again, became PDP, APC won 1,212. I mean, that's auditing. The total accredited voter, 212. APC won one. So APC could have won, but again, these numbers with mutilations and cancellations underscore why people thought about IRF. So people lost hope. Again, the very undemocratic nature of this election is you shut down movement a day before.
Let me just take you on that immediately. The fact, I'm going to get into questions here. I have less time. The fact that movement was shut down from even before a day to the election, and then on the day of the election, and then the minister was walking about polling units. He's not an observer. Should he be doing that? Take up that. Then lastly, EFCC arrested voters, says more than 17 million naira, recovered 17 million naira. I almost screamed when I was reading. And then one individual had 13.5 million naira. How do you feel about it?
So I say the agony. This election is nothing credible or fair. And I tell you why. You see, elections are not just about the votes when it's cast. It's about the process that builds to it. First, the minister arrogates to himself the position of a king and gives orders, nobody should go out. First, he threatens people that, look, only the person who supports my president can be allowed to win.
He said it was the president that gave the order, not himself.
Which makes it worse, okay? So the point is this. The election was compromised by what they want to call the democratic nature of election starts from how it's organized. Movement, democracy, rights of people. So if people got shut in and no movement, and you and your agents are free to move. First, he wasn't a voter, wasn't an election officer, so it was reckless and unlawful for him to shut everybody down and then move about, going from one polling unit to another polling unit. And this is the problem. Nigeria, I tweeted before the election that the election will also be rigged because Nigeria has routinely rigged the election. And Africa, if you look at elections, 3 dimensions come out all the time. Incumbents, so those who are in position of authority, whether state governors, if it's the same with local government election with other states, they exercise their power to suppress voters. Yesterday before the vote, I read a book, old book, 1950-something, by the first black Nobel, the only black Nobel, Arthur Lewis, who wrote a book called Politics in West Africa. The same way they arranged chiefs to ban opponents from participating, from campaigning. On the day of voting, they even stop those who think strongholds where the votes will happen from voting. So these suppressive strategies undermine the credibility of the election. That's number one. So number two, so when you're at the Minister of FCT and you are going from, you are also an interest party who has said—
You just have 30 seconds.
Yeah, who have said that only those who support my president will win. And you're going to put in this to examine how it's going on. On what authority? So basically, the APC should rejoice they won and they have a bragging right. They say that those who rig elections don't complain, those who lose complain. But it doesn't detract from the fact that these elections are not credible.
All right. And
INEC has also failed to, I mean, from now going on, people will be more cynical about INEC's capacity.
All right.
So for me, I would predict for this that 2027 will be probably a very bad election, except something changes.
All right, that's Dr. Sam Amadi's words there. We'll watch and see. The Director, Abuja School of Social and Political Thought, thank you for being on the program.